So the next thing, this is something that I've been doing for a long time, and you know, I grew up fishing Lake Oroville, Shasta, and this has helped me cash checks across the country, and it's a drop shot rig. Now there's a couple different ways I'm going to rig this thing. First way I'm going to show you guys is the simple open hook, or the nose hook drop shot, and what that is going to have is a number 1 owner to a number 4, let's say, owner. A small little hook. You're just going to nose hook the bait right in the top of the bait. You're going to have a weight below it. You know, I generally start off with a 12 to an 18-inch leader. As far as the rod, very important on the drop shot. You know, I prefer a little bit longer of a rod. You know, I like a 7-foot 2-inch, you know, at least a 7-foot rod. You know, a medium to a medium heavy. Actually, you know, medium light to a medium heavy. Just kind of depends on how heavy the weight you're throwing. And it's just going to catch you a lot of fish. As far as line on the drop shot, you know, I am a huge believer in any spinny rod application. Look at that guy there. There's a fish right there. You know, I this last year I've made the switch to a braided line to a fluorocarbon leader. And for those who haven't seen it, and you can see the drop shot's just going to get bit all day. You know, if I had a hook in there, I could catch these guys. But the braided line, this thing's pretty hungry, I think. The braided line is going to let you cast farther. It's going to do a couple things. You're going to be able to cast farther. And nowadays with the fluorocarbon leaders, you know, the fluorocarbon line for 200 yards, it could be $25. This is very expensive. So this is a 10-pound, like I say, every cast. I mean, it's gonna get you a bite. The fluorocarbon I'm gonna use, you know, on this rod, on the drop shot, it's gonna vary from 6-pound to a 10-pound test, right? And as far as the braid goes, I like the smaller the braid, the better. So I'm gonna use a 10-pound braid to possibly a 20. And you're gonna spool that up at the beginning of the year, and you guys can honestly fish it all year and not have to change the line. You know, when you guys want to change the line, you get the fluorocarbon, and you're going to tie a leader on there. I prefer a double Albright leader, very strong. You know, I was very hesitant for a while about doing that, but it's really changed my life. Also, with hook sets on the drop shot, you know, with this braid, it has no stretch. You don't need a big, long hook set. You kind of just need to load into these fish, and you're going to get them. So this nose hook, basic setup, like I say, 12, 14-inch leader, 10-inch leader, whatever you guys want. Maybe you're fishing Oroville in the fall. The fish are going to be, you know, 4 or 5 feet off the bottom. You can kind of adjust and go with that, and you can put it off the bottom that high and catch a lot of fish. You know, I always prefer most of the time to throw the Jackal Crosstail Shad. It's a little 4-inch bait. It's going to get a lot of bites, as you guys see here today, and you know, it's just deadly anywhere you guys go, for largemouth, for smallmouth, especially spotted bass. It's going to catch you a ton of fish. So the way I'm going to fish this thing is pretty simple. There are a couple ways. I'm going to make a long cast, like you guys are seeing. I'm going to let it hit the bottom. You know, my weight's going to vary and how deep I'm fishing. As a drop shot, you know, maybe, you know, up to a 1/4 ounce. I use a Phoenix drop shot weight. And, you know, I think the smaller the weight you guys have on there, the better. You're going to get more bites. It's going to be more natural. So I'm going to cast it out, let it hit the bottom, and just kind of crawl along the bottom. Keep the weight on the bottom, keep contact, and that's probably the most popular way to fish this thing. And that's probably the number one. The other way is, you know, let's say I'm out fishing some deep water, and I've done a lot of this. I call it video game fishing. This is my favorite technique for it. You know, let's say we're fishing the deep water lake, maybe Bullard's Bar, Oroville, Shasta, and you get out there and you're 50 feet and you see a bass on the graph right below the boat. Well, this is going to be the rig. I'm going to tie it up, I'm going to drop it down, and I'm going to watch this thing drop all the way down right to where the fish are at and watch them bite it. And it works great. You know, the drop shot, you can drop on fish, you're going to be able to catch a lot of fish, you know, and people kind of view this bait as, hey, you're not going to catch any big fish on it. It's not true. I've caught a lot of big ones. I've caught 10-pounders on it. I've caught a lot of fish that have won me a ton of money. So the drop shot's just a killer way to catch a lot of fish. Now, a couple years ago, as Kent mentioned, in the Forest Wood Cup, you know, I finished second behind Kevin Hawk, another Western angler. And I'm fishing some man-made brush piles. You know, I'm fishing 30, 40 feet deep, some of these man-made brush piles. Another fish there. You can see how deadly this thing is with this crosstail shad. And, you know, with this open hook, it is not weedless at all. You know, once I'm throwing it down in the brush pile, I was getting snagged every cast. So I came up with a way you guys can fish this bait and still have the same action and get the same bites, but have it weedless. What I like to do, it's very simple. Take the same setup, crosstail shad, you know, number 4, number 2 hook. I'm going to go back about 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to slide just the head of the bait, or the hook, into the bait and not let it come through the top. Now I could throw this thing anywhere. I could throw it in a brush pile, I could throw it in a tree, I could throw it in a rock, wherever I want to throw it, and it's going to be weedless. I'm going to catch a lot more fish. The problem with it, once you do this, every time you catch a fish, most of the time you're going to lose a bait. But hey, you got to get bit first, right? So that's just something, you know, back in 2010 when I was fishing with brush piles, like I said, this is something I started doing, and really, really helped me out catch a lot more fish. Another thing, you know, especially in the springtime with the drop shot, you know, you're fishing Clear Lake, Shasta, anywhere you guys are at. You know, this has helped me a lot back on tour, is I like to throw a little bit bigger of a worm, same setup, but I'm going to throw a wacky rig. You know, this is a 5.8 flick shake. I'm just going to hook it right in the middle, same setup, throw it out there, and you can see it's going to be a different action. A little bit bigger of a profile bait. You know, this is something that works great on spawning fish. You know, when they're cruising, when they're up shallow, swimming around, this is something you're going to want to kind of throw to those fish that are really skittish, and you're going to catch a lot more fish. Also, you know, maybe you're fishing a deep underwater island top, and you're throwing a little 4-inch bait. You might want to switch it up and try to catch one of these bigger fish. So just another way to rig the drop shot. You know, it's killer technique. You know, the drop shot's going to work across the country. It's helped me out a bunch, and you can see it's just getting a ton of bites. Also, the other way I want to show you guys on this drop shot is something that's going to work, you know, a little bit different. It's not as conventional way to throw this thing. And this is, as you can see, I'm throwing this on a bait caster. And it's a way I can completely throw this thing weedless. This is on a RoboWorm rebarb hook. I'm going to use a little bit bigger gear on this thing, okay? This is going to be a 7'2" maybe a medium heavy rod. And this is where, let's say you're going to the Delta, you're in Frank's Track, and you're fishing behind everybody, flipping a jig, right? You might want to beef this thing up to a 12, 15-pound test, go behind guys. You're going to be able to pitch this thing around and catch a lot of big fish. Made a lot of top 10s at Clear Lake and the Delta doing this, just like this. You know, this is a 12-pound test line, a bigger rod, a bait caster, a little bit heavier setup. You can flip right in the toolies, you know, right in the grass, and you're going to catch a lot more fish. Now, for those who don't know about a rebarb hook, very basic. It's a completely weedless way to fish this. It's got a little keeper on there. You're going to rig it just like you rig any soft plastic bait. You're going to poke it through, and just like that, it's going to be completely 100% weedless. And again, you guys can, you know, people always think of the drop shot, you know, real light line. It's not true. This has helped me across the country catch a lot of fish. And like I say, especially this is where this thing's going to shine. Clear Lake, the Delta, bigger line, you know, more Bubba approach, and same results. I've caught a lot of big ones on this, and it's something that I feel is a must-have, especially in a high-pressured area. You know, as far as the worms, pick your favorite worm out. The rub worms work great. You know, jackal baits, kind of anything. 1/4 ounce weight on the drop shot. You know, it's kind of what you prefer.